Fall,
Audio, bro.
false start offense.
Hello? We can't hear you, bro. Anyway, welcome to Kingdom Cast. Chuck is having technical difficulties right now. We are here. We are live. We are weird already. It already started weird. I was watching y'all podcast. Y'all just did, what, an hour ago?
Couple
Y'all
hours.
just
Yeah,
did a
it
show.
feels like it. Yeah.
And then I came up with this scenario. You are the DeAndre Hopkins to Kingdom Cast. We've been trying to get you on for 3 years.
When you reached out and you're like, wait, so we've got everybody else. What are you waiting on? I was just as surprised as you are. I was like, I don't know. I thought maybe I was never invited. I thought maybe I got blacklisted. So I'm just as happy to be here. Maybe like DeAndre Hopkins, I just caught some passes from my Will Levis, Seth Kaiser, and now I'm here with you guys.
I've reached out to. I talked to Seth, and we was like, Seth, we need Josh. Nate, we need Josh. And they like, okay, we'll reach out, and nothing ever happened. I'm like, I asked my team. I've literally told my team we've gotten everybody local that we could get.
Yeah,
we're waiting on this one guy.
the last Infinity Stone or whatever. I'm happy to help bring that experience together. I'm sorry I made you all wait, I guess.
It's all good, man. Now this is the last official episode of Kingdom Cast. We've done all we can do.
Yeah. Chuck, you good?
You good? Nope.
No.
You're still being weird.
2 minutes ago. This is wild.
That is crazy. Josh, so man, I want to say since the last time we talked to you, but we haven't talked to you. You've made a couple of moves. You are now at 96.5, the fan FM. I will say this about 610. Congratulations at 610. Carrington, Cody, Bob, all those guys. It sounds, you talk about night and day. I switched to 610 and then I went back to 96.5. Wow. It's a complete difference. It's like, it's night and day. Like, y'all sound great, man. I for real, seriously.
It really is. It is wild. It is like standard def to HD. It's like making that transition for the first time. Because you're 100% right. Like, and I've done simulcast stuff or certainly just listen to some AM radio and then listen over to the FM side, and you will hear the difference. And you go, man, we got really used to years and years and years of just kind of listening through the static or having your. For me, it was like just when podcasts became such a ubiquitous thing that you could go from listening over the air while you're driving around to flipping over to the podcast. You go, I can like hear these people's mouth sounds now, which might not be a good thing, but you certainly can on the FM side. And it's good to be there. Good to get a couple more reps in.
You can tell when people are eating on camera.
You definitely can. You definitely can. But see, in the on camera like streaming space, I think people kind of realize like, listen, you're gonna be here talking for a while. You're gonna have to have a drink break. You're gonna have to throw down whatever your most I don't know your crunchiest snack might be. It's just part of the experience.
Okay, now, like I said, we've been trying to get your Kingdom Cast version of D-Hop, but the actual Kansas City Chiefs got D-Hop, and we're going to have to lay out for just a minute, Josh. I know you're a special guest. This man below me has been fighting and throwing the flag for DeAndre Hopkins for 3 years now.
Yes.
I need to, how do you feel? Where were you at? Were you up? What happened? Walk me through the day.
I was ecstatic. No, I was not up. Was about to take the kids to school. I seen the Tennessee Titans traded, but I was still half asleep. But then I seen you had text. A couple more people had text. So I'm like, what? Hold on. What's going on? Then I seen it going across the ESPN, and I was yelling in my bed, man. I was pretty excited about that. Like Country said, man, it's been too long, man. Taylor hit me up. It was, y'all know how much this meant to me, man. I just been wanting a receiver like this since Tyreek left. I've been begging for DeAndre Hopkins because he's something we haven't had. He can go get the ball. I got DJ. I'm so happy, man. And like I was telling Country even before we made it official, we don't need D Hop to be D Hop from the Texans or no, we don't even need that version of him, and he could be 1,000-yard receiver here, man. Like I'm ecstatic. We got him. We got Kareem Hunt back. If we could just get healthy, I'm very confident in the 3-peat now. I'm very confident. I'm happy, and I know I got to get this out the way too because I know y'all don't want to say it, but we have been going hard on Scott Moore. I see he went to IR, but we got to take that on the chin for D Hop, man. We got to take it on the chin, man. Chuck,
What'd you
Chuck.
say, Chuck? Chuck?
Yeah, I'm about to say, am I back?
There we go. There we
Okay.
go. There we
back.
go. There we go. There we
Am I
go.
here?
There we go. There you go.
Oh man. I
Yeah.
guess I have to take on the weird part of this episode tonight. But what's up, Josh? Great to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Good to be here, fellas. I didn't realize that I was such a thing to chase down, so aspirational. But I'm glad to be here, and glad to be here on DeAndre Hopkins Day.
Yeah.
For, again, these simultaneous chases to pay off on the same show. What a win!
But yeah, Boog been manifesting this longer than I have. I mean, I was on board with bringing D Hop here, but Boog was really pounding the table to bring D Hop here to Kansas City, and after we beat the Niners, we all agreed that we needed an extra body. Like
It was time.
Yeah, probably after that point, it's like, okay, all right, let's go ahead and try to get somebody. But never in my thoughts that D Hop would get back in the picture, because I mean, if you guys remember, like last year there was some rumblings going on that there's a possibility that they was gonna try to bring D Hop here last year, and things didn't work out, perimeters didn't work out, whatever. But we're here now, so hey. And from the all 22 that I saw of D Hop in a Tennessee uniform this year, I mean the stats may not show it, but he's still like.
Oh,
It was so close to a clean
it
dismount.
was just you
There
can't
we
talk
go.
about the mayonnaise flavored quarterback on this
right.
show, man. It's
That's
just
right. You try to blame DeAndre Hopkins for anything that was Will Levis's fault, and he will cut your mic again.
Hey, I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, man, like D Hop's been playing with too many terrible quarterbacks in his career as it is. Like, it's
sure.
time, bro. It's time. We know you put up production everywhere you gone. It's time to actually at least add one Super Bowl ring to your resume. So.
and it's funny. I seen Patrick Peterson doing a podcast, which I didn't even know existed. I didn't know Patrick Peterson had a. D Hop was like one more year away from becoming Patrick Peterson in Chiefs game. We begged for Patrick Peterson, and Therese was like, "Okay, it's close, guys, it's close." And then it just never happened. And then he went to Minnesota for some reason. It's just he was the white whale, I guess. He was the what's the big whale?
Moby Dick. He was the Moby Dick of the defense. Everything you guys have said about the whole DeAndre Hopkins pursuit is the reason I was so surprised when I woke up and saw the trade, because he is a guy that we've talked about for years, and rightfully so. And like you said, it's a type of receiver the Chiefs have never had for Patrick Mahomes. He's never thrown to a guy like that. And at some point, you got to look yourself in the mirror and go, all right, am I the problem for wanting him to have a receiver like that? Like, is it just always going to be 5'10" guys who run 4.40s? Is that the entire wide receiver room? And it kind of has been. I'm excited that they did break that streak and that mold of the usual receivers they end up with, because I think clearly they looked around and they had to do the math on the picks and who was available and all of that. Go, no, this is a good investment for us. And now Mahomes gets one of the best pure catchers of a football to ever catch a football. I'm jacked for it.
And Nagy said something about that too, about his drops.
Yep.
His hands.
Yes. Yeah. Nagy was talking about the hands, was talking about the drops, and the catch radius is crazy. Like, he just gave up his number, so I'm not trying to slander Justin Ross, but like the entire idea of the Justin Ross experience was like, oh well, it might be nice for Mahomes to have a big player who can go up and jump balls, catch radius, try to make the margin for error a little bit bigger for Mahomes. But the Chiefs just never really invested in a guy like that, and frankly, I didn't think that was going to change. I certainly didn't think it was going to change for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, and like you see the graphic. I'm pretty sure you've seen already. They talked about NFL Live when the transaction went down. Like since 2013, he has like the fourth lowest drop rate of wide receivers at 1.6. Like you got Terry McLaurin there, Mike Thomas, and Larry Fitzgerald. Those are the only other three guys that have a better drop rate than
That's
DeAndre Hopkins.
a rare air right there.
Yeah.
So okay, now I got a lot of flack for this, and I know Nate says the wrong thing. When Brett Veach is looking for a guy, they're under 30.
Yeah.
They had previous interest in them.
Yeah.
So like draft maybe. What else was the criteria? Boogie, you know the criteria better than I do. Under 30.
Knows the system.
Know the
system. Yeah.
And a locker room guy that's not gone. We're not getting George Pickens. I'm sorry,
Correct.
We're not going to get him. He's not coming here. But this one, and DG alluded to it, D-Hop kind of breaks that mold because he's 32.
Yeah.
But his 32 isn't another 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that Brett Veach has been interested in him for a while. So he's been interested in him since he was in his 20s. But you think that is this a start of something new, or is it just because this guy is special?
That's a good question. I think it's the latter, though. I think it's more about Hopkins, but you're right that he breaks a lot of those molds. And then something that Andy Reid said today when he came back, he did his pressers on back-to-back days for Andy. That never happens because he went up and just lied.
This is also, we was going to touch on that.
Okay, he just went up there and said nothing and lied all day Wednesday because he didn't want to get those tampering charges. I understand why. So I was surprised to see him go back out today. But the quote from his entire presser that stood out to me on one of those pillars was, you kind of start up from the bottom and just the snap count part of it, work your way up through. But he's seen enough. He's been around it long enough to where it's more of a dialect than a language that he has to learn. We have spent so much time, and I'm still kind of wondering about Demarcus Robinson. We've spent so much time talking about the returning pieces. Obviously, Kareem Hunt, even more so with Juju. He was gone for a year and could kind of step right back in, and you saw that learning curve. Sometimes it's to the Chiefs' detriment because you can't get a more talented player, a more physically gifted player, a guy who might be more at the peak of his career. You can't just bring that guy and slap him into the system because they need to be able to work in the system. And then sometimes the guy who knows the system is Justin Watson, who isn't going to produce to his snap counts, right? He's a useful player, but he's never going to lead this team in receiving yards for even a game, right? Yeah. So there are so many ways where, to go back to your original question, I think Hopkins breaks this mold because he's DeAndre Hopkins. Even in terms of the talent fall off that you kind of expect for receivers around this age or a little bit further, Hopkins has already kind of shifted down a gear in terms of just like his speed, which was never really his calling card anyway. And that plays into it also. He can still win short and intermediate. It's not like he's, and it's obviously he's a rental for all we know right now. But even if you were going to like try to keep him around next year, if you had a great deal for it, whatever, I don't want to get ahead that far, but you wouldn't have to be betting that he's going to lose half a step and then suddenly be unplayable. He could run a 5-second 40, and I think he would still have that catch radius in those hands that makes him useful. So his football IQ is evident. 10 years at the position, 12 years now at the position is evident. And I just think he's a special player who also became the most practical solution to the Chiefs' problem right now, even though I do still wonder if they would have rather, I guess Nate said on the show today, they would have rather had Deontay Johnson, all things being equal, but I think that's a long-term hope of hoping to re-up with Johnson. I think what they gave up for Hopkins was a great deal. I'm really in on that.
Yeah, that's how it is, because a 5th-round conditional is like, oh, take that, please. Yep. Thank you.
And I'm a draft picks guy, right? Like you need to have the picks to find your gems, right? You need to have those rookie contracts to balance out paying Chris Jones and Joe Tooney and Creed Humphrey their huge money. But if you say it's a near end of 5th round pick, and you're gonna have compensatory picks and all that in there. Well, let's say they don't make the Super Bowl, or Hopkins doesn't play 60% of the snaps. It's a pick from the end of the 5th round. You want to have as many picks as you can, but you understand why you made that gamble for a likely future Hall of Famer who at your biggest position of need by a mile. If he plays 80% of the snaps or 65% of the snaps, who cares? With 61% of the snaps and they go back to the Super Bowl, you're giving the last or second to last pick of the 4th round up for that. No one is complaining about that. Like,
and we got 2/3 also, right?
That's right. Yeah, and they kept both of those, which is huge. Like, I was getting into the mindset of, like, for Amari Cooper, who again he may have added a tiny bit more this year than Hopkins, but I think I'm more excited about Hopkins. But I think it's just because, to your point, Boogie, like, he's been a blast to watch for a decade, and he is so unique that I'm excited to see him. So, but if you would have said, hey, you give up the Chiefs 3rd for Amari Cooper, I probably would have done that at the time without knowing where the Hopkins market was going to be. Now, given the choice, I'll take this Hopkins deal pretty definitively, because they are going to go in the next year's draft with a 1, a 2, the Titans 3, which is probably going to be a pretty good pick, and their own. That's a good spot to be in. They did not mortgage the future to stabilize here.
How much do you think history is playing a part in this? That 3-peat is there. And I'm sorry, LaShawn McCoy saying that winning the 3-peat was not important. I don't know what you talk about, bro. What is he talking about? It's
Man,
not important.
He just hating.
That's ridiculous to say.
Not important.
But he said it was because they were saying, is it 3-peat or bust? And LaShawn McCoy's like, you're still a dynasty. Who cares? Like, nobody's ever done it before, bro. What are you talking about? Like, but so did history play a part in it of we're going for the 3-peat? We can't have any more like, we can't afford any more injuries right now.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. On either side of the ball. How much do you think history played a part in all this?
I think it does. I think it does, in part because, like, the one thing, there's a whole domino effect here, but, like, the one kind of not completely on the field thing that Andy Reid seems to actually care about is NFL history. When he passes some great coach in an all-time wins list, he respects that and appreciates that. When the Chiefs as a team do something that hasn't been done before or hasn't been done in a very long time, he seems to appreciate that. Individual accolades, most of the stars on this team, you're not really going to hear them take that on in the way that I might, like, oh, that's cool. I'm leading. I'm the all-time top receptions leader in Kansas City Chiefs history. Travis Kelce is not worried about his stat line. We saw that last year in Week 18, right? He could have kept the 1,000-yard streak going. Instead, he said, I'm going to get healthy for the playoffs, and then he looked like a new man in the playoffs. But I think Andy cares about history. I think Clark Hunt cares about history. I don't know if Brett Veach does. I haven't really heard him talk about it in that way. They all care about winning, though, also. And that's the other thing with this, where, again, it's not giving up a first for, or even whatever it would have had to be, to get Devontae Adams and saying, we're going to pay whatever price, we're going to overpay for the Raiders because we need the best available receiver to make sure, to guarantee a 3-peat. They're not trading all of next year's draft to get another corner and another receiver and a left tackle. You know what? So it's still, there's still some wisdom behind it in the way that they're going about that business. But I do think they care, one, about the 3-peat in the history, I think in a reasonable way. The other thing is I think we're talking about either half a year or a year and a half of Travis Kelce. And if this is his last season, or even if it's his second to last season, don't put him out there at 35 years old and make him carry the entire offense on his back. Like, until Hopkins got here, and technically still right now, this offense is dependent on a 21-year-old and a 35-year-old. And so I don't think it wouldn't have been a good use of Kelce's time and career, or of Mahomes' time and career. Obviously, nowhere near as close to the end as Kelce is. But hey, you've got the best quarterback in the world, the best quarterback of all time in his prime. Do not make him try to make a Super Bowl run throwing to McCole Hardman and Justin Watson and a rookie that he may not fully trust yet. Like, so I think all of that plays together.
I think we are underestimating the injury too. We're so banged up. I think you kind of made the decision to make a trade so much easier. Like y'all was saying, after this last game, we going into this game with no Juju.
Yep.
We can't continue to win with Worthy and McCole being our number 1 and 2 receivers. So I
Yeah.
think that it kind of pressure bust pipes. You had to make a move. Uh, he was the best move available at that point, especially with, like you said, for what we was spending. Deontay Johnson was gonna have to be a higher pick. You're not really spending money to go get Christian Kirk or these other guys. So I think the decision
Calvin
was
Ridley.
pretty easy. Calvin Ridley, like, we're not spending that kind of money.
No,
I think when Juju didn't play, that was the straw that broke my camel's back. I was like, okay, we got to go get a
it's like, all right,
a
sound the
wide
alarm.
receiver. This is ridiculous.
But real quick,
D Hop does okay. Here's a negative. I will say, y'all might look at me like I'm crazy. If does Patrick Mahomes get D Hop and fall in love and say, I'm just throwing to D Hop. I'm not looking at McCall. I'm not looking at Worthy no more. I'm looking at Travis and D Hop right now.
Yeah.
This is me. Is there? I know Boogie looking at me crazy, and I kind of understand why he would, but is that like a is that does that scare you a little bit that he would just we got 20 targets and they got 19 of them, and then Xavier Worthy got one deep pass and that was it, and it was like, okay, we good.
I think
Does it kind of scare you a little bit?
The Worthy part, even before they made the Hopkins trade, I'm a little bit worried about Mahomes being willing to keep going back to Worthy until that relationship works. Like you saw right into the beginning of the second half against the Niners, that should have been a 70-yard touchdown, and then 2 plays later he throws a pick. I want him to keep trying that with Worthy, much like he had to last year with Rashee Rice. Like, they had to get that relationship working. They had to get on the same page, and then you saw them reap the benefits of that. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Hopkins getting. Here's what I'll say. I'm certainly not worried about Hopkins getting more than his fair share, which is to say, if Patrick Mahomes has any excuse to target him 10 times a game, I think hopefully it's going to be good reasons, right? Like for him to immediately go, oh man, I kind of like throwing to a big receiver with like Mr. Fantastic arms. Like this is a good way for me to live. I'm happy for Mahomes to be happy. I think anything that continues to spread the gravity of the offense is a good thing. And Hopkins is going to make everybody else's life easier. So I think he's going to have plenty of reason for defenses to pay attention to Hopkins, and Kelsey, has demanded a ton of that attention. Now, hopefully, it's even easier to go to Worthy downfield, or it's even easier to find whoever the other wideout is, if that's Hardman for a specific game, or when Juju comes back, or maybe, knock on wood, when Hollywood Brown comes back. And man, it's very exciting to think about a semi-healthy version of this team in December and January.
Yeah, that's a fact. I want to touch on a few things. There's only really like 2 little small concerns with this. For one, like, is this going to be, or is Andy Reid going to go back to try to make this a pass happy offense again? Like, with this balance that we've been working with for like the past 2 weeks, I mean, this is the most efficient this offense has been. So I mean, I wouldn't change up too much with D Hop coming back. And another thing, like with Patrick Mahomes and D Hop on the, let's say, the jump ball chemistry, because we've watched DeAndre Hopkins throughout his career. Like, he's good at those one-on-one balls, man. Like, he's good at coming down, winning those one-on-one matchups where he has to leap over the defender and come down with the ball. So that's just 2 little small concerns I had. Like, how long does it take for Patrick and D Hop to get that chemistry down for those situations, especially in the red zone?
I think that's a super fair question. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have an answer, but I mean, I think it'll take a little bit of time, as it takes, especially with the rookies. I do think the 12 years football IQ thing will help that relationship speed up a little bit, but that's not a type of ball we've seen Mahomes throw very often at this point in his career.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it because I feel like this year Mahomes, his interceptions is up. He's not comfortable throwing to these receivers when they're if they're not open. This is the first receiver he can throw to, even if he's not open. D Hop can go get the ball. So I think that will help. Like you said with the red zone, I think that immediately helps. And then also, respectfully, I'm cool with you throwing to D Hop 10 times and Kelsey 10 times if that's gonna take away targets from Watson and McCole and all that. Like I'm okay with McCole getting a couple plays. You do need to spread it around. I'm cool with Worthy getting the end around, getting some screens. You got to spread it around, but now D Hop is so much better than anything we have. He needs those targets. And like you said, I think it's gonna help Kelsey and it's gonna help Xavier deep. So no, I'm all in. We've been begging for this type of receiver. Let's use him like he's that type of receiver. But I'm with you, Chuck. We don't need to go 40 points a game offense right now. We don't need to do that. Still need to be running through Kareem Hunt. The offense need to go through Kareem Hunt. But yes, I think you got to give D Hop that ball, bro. He need at least 8 to 9 targets a game.
I
Because
mean,
he's
I would
gonna
kind of,
catch 80% of those, man.
yeah, and I would kind of love for us to put up 40 on the faders. I mean, just
I'm
them.
with that though.
But
I'm
you
with
know,
that.
Yeah, just them in particular.
I'm with that.
but this is a crazy stat about D Hop too, man. I saw a stat on the Chiefs website. It said almost 70% of his catches have resulted in a first down or a touchdown throughout his career. Like that's
Will Levis?
Those are Noah Gray numbers.
that's pretty crazy.
With
Thank
Will
God for
Levis?
Noah Gray.
Oh my
we
God.
got to touch on Noah Gray. That's another thing we've been begging for years. Throw Noah Gray the ball. It works.
It always works. It's always a first down. I don't know how it happens.
Because Travis Kelce, his gravity, man, it takes the attention off all the other guys. Somebody got to
Yeah.
put on one.
I'll tell you, really, that's full circle for Noah Gray and the running game, and you because I don't disagree with what you're saying about like continuing to make sure that you need to keep that consistency that they have been able to find offensively. They just haven't been able to pay it off in the red zone by and large. And yet, really, it's turnovers in the red zone. That's the whole reason that we've and I still think reasonably kind of freaked out about the offense some. They move the ball pretty good between the 20s, and then you either have the backbreaking turnover or you settle for a 15-yard field goal. But I just think that the combination of all of the weapons now, with Reed and Mahomes being the guys that are kind of captaining that, I'm not worried about it getting too. I'm not worried about too many targets or too many touches going in any one direction because I think it's going to go game by game for the most part, and I think everybody's bought into that.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say anything about you touching on Noah Gray. I heard it and I didn't say anything.
nah, but yeah, man. But Noah Gray, man, like ever since he got paid, he's been showing up. He's been earning his coin. So I mean, we keep it going with him a little bit, even though we got a 3-time All-Pro wide receiver in the offense now. So that's just to keep the defenses honest still,
Yeah,
so.
It's hard out there, man. Any matchup advantage you can find is a great thing, and the Chiefs actually feel like they have a few now.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing about D Hop that he can do that's gonna help this offense too is he's like Travis Kelce. When they run his zone, he knows how to sit down in that zone and just like he's not gonna continue his route. And we're like, damn, what's going on? He's gonna sit right there, get open, make that catch. It's gonna be so much easier, man. I'm ready, man. I'm damn near brought a jersey this week, man. I'm pumped, man. I ain't gonna.
I figured you would have already had one from 3 years
pumped.
ago.
Yeah, I know, right? Look, I didn't know what jersey number. Now I know, man. I'm gonna have to get one, man.
On my fault. I was being silly. Silly earlier today because I put up the gif of T.I. snatching the necklace off of Nunu's neck.
Give me that jersey.
Said, the Chiefs took 8 from Justin Ross. Like,
okay, let's get weird. Do you think there was a financial compensation for that?
I know. I've been thinking about this all day. I don't. He didn't get asked about it at the presser, which I'm a little bit bummed by. I was hoping somebody was going to follow up the number thing by saying, "Do you have to pay Justin Ross?" Since Ross was on the practice squad, I think somebody from the Chiefs could have been like, "Hey, bud, really appreciate you. In fact, we may be elevating you this week. We'll find out. I don't know. Maybe not. Mm-hmm. But DeAndre Hopkins? Yeah, he plays here now. And I bet you would love to learn from DeAndre Hopkins. And he said he'll teach you whatever you want to know if he can just get that number 8 real quick. Because Pop's not going to give up 10.
Let me get that.
I kind of wanted him to go to 0. I want him to be the first Chief to wear 0. I thought that would have been good. But single digit, I think, is good for Hopkins. And, Justin Ross now has to live up to Dwayne Bowe's legacy, which for me is a very, very high bar. I love Dwayne Bowe.
Kyle, I was just about to say that. Didn't D-Hop have something to do with Justin Ross getting to Clemson?
Oh, that's interesting.
He might have.
Oh, Boogie digging deep.
Yeah, go to the deep dive for me.
Thank you. But yeah, I could have sworn he said something about that the first 2 times ago when we was trying to get D-Hop.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'm on it. Hey, 3 Clemson receivers now, too, because Cornell Powell's back. Look at that.
Yep.
Yep. Cornell's back in the building.
Yeah.
So, how about a little Clemson alum reunion there? Here's another thing I want to touch on with this D-Hop trade, man. I found it interesting that L'Jarius Sneed and Tyreek Hill made a little slide comments after the trade with L'Jarius Sneed, funny business. Maybe because L'Jarius wanted to stay here. And D-Hop got to go here to Kansas City. Another one is Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, he's a troll, master troll and all that.
Yeah.
He just said, and that's it. I mean, what did y'all think about that? Them little slide comments.
He couldn't help it, man. Tyreek can't help it. He can't help it, bro.
He's okay.
That's my take for any Tyreek Hill based question. Is he couldn't help it.
Yeah. Tyreek miss being here, man. We know that. We know. Well, I miss him too. But we got D-Hop now, baby.
Of course.
We got D-Hop now, baby.
Give it 3 years, Boogie. Give it 3 years. He'll be back.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
We will welcome
soon as that
$50
million, as soon as that $55 million cap hit is gone, he can come back.
That's 100% right.
I hope he still got that speed.
He won't have all of it, but he'll know the system. He'll know the system, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it would still be kind of fast, like how Darryl Green was at the end of his.
Joey Galloway, yeah, I'm gonna need him.
Yeah, Joey
Galloway still fast like that.
They were still fast, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel for Sneed. Tyreek obviously went and got his money, and Drew Rosenhaus keeps continuing that money printer, and that's whatever. I do feel for Sneed because he wanted to be here, and the Chiefs couldn't offer him a market deal, and ultimately, I don't even think he got as much from the Titans, and he certainly didn't get as much in trade compensation as he probably felt like he should have. Because it's hard to pay a guy when you have real questions about if his knees are going to keep working. So I do feel for Sneed because he probably feels like he ought to still be here. I mean, obviously he played well enough to be right. Like if he had the choice to make, he would have taken a contract with the Chiefs. I feel just about 100% confident in that. Tyreek kind of had the choice, and that all the Chiefs. I think this is all out there. The Chiefs were negotiating with Tyreek before they ended up trading him to Miami. That could have worked. He ends up in Miami. I hope everybody's happy. Sneed, I feel for.
But you know what? I could see Sneed coming back. I don't know if he's gonna finish that contract with Tennessee.
Also, totally fair. Yeah, I think I don't know if the Spags sort of boomerang works as hard as the Andy Reid boomerang does. But yeah, no, I am now completely open to every reunion tour that I thought. Kareem Hunt is on this team and leading them in rushing. The offense is running through Kareem Hunt. There's nobody I'm willing to say could not return to this roster.
Oh, well, don't say that. Marcus Peters ain't coming back, but I get you though.
Hold on.
I get you.
He's the one.
Hold on.
He's the one.
Not Marcus Peters. Not Marcus Peters.
He is definitely the one. He's the uno.
Josh about to show us that he got a Marcus Peters jersey.
Not quite. This is my signed Marcus Peters tweet that Rudy Salazar found this in I think a $10 basket at one of the sports memorabilia remotes that we used to do. And he picked this up because I have an unhealthy love for Marcus Peters. I don't know why. Man. The way that he played the game, the falling off routes to go hunt a pick, fact that there were just a handful of people that could not stand him in a way that made me love him even more because of who those other people might have been. Yeah. And man, I seriously Dwayne Bowe, obviously different eras, but Dwayne Bowe and Marcus Peters are the two Chiefs, I think, who I love more than they should necessarily be loved compared to I love more than the average fan by the largest margin, I should say. Dwayne Bowe deserves every bit of that love.
Is it
Hey,
a
listen,
coincidence they
facts,
both
facts.
smoke weed? Is that a coincidence or?
I was young enough at the time that it was, but no longer. Now he smokes weed and makes music, and it's like I knew how to pick him. Like that aged very well for me. Who said Bo Stone Hands? Show yourself.
Oh,
Get out of
scratch.
here.
Listen,
I
I'm not
would have
even gonna
loved
hold
Bo
you.
with these.
I'm not even gonna hold you, man. I'm almost there with you as far as like the Marcus Peters level, Josh. I mean, I was almost at your level. I ain't gonna hold you because, admittedly enough, for people that follow me on Twitter for a long time, I said I was taking a break from the Chiefs after they traded Marcus Peters. I was that pissed off. I was that.
Yeah.
I was hurt too. Yeah.
I was too.
Man, I remember the day clearly.
Yep. Me too.
Because
And
one of them
a lot
guys,
of
and
that
I
was
was like,
Bob
what?
Sutton
We
too,
say
man.
Marcus Peters.
But one thing,
Okay, so quickly.
But hold on,
I
real
would
quick.
drop my daughter off at the daycare on 350 or 40 Highway, one of those. And every morning I would see Marcus Peters in his Audi like this, going to
It's just like,
practice.
oh, that's
And I used to just sit there like, man, if I blew my horn at him, but I didn't want to get shot.
Yeah, even Oakland, man.
He might have wild out. He might have flashed on me. But I used to just sit there and just really just look at him. You know, traffic in the morning is like hella thick right there in that stretch. Pause.
this
And
whole
I
show,
used to
man.
just sit there.
I've kept like 4 pause buttons to myself. I don't know what's happening here.
I used to just sit there and look at Marcus Peters before I went to work after dropping my daughter off at daycare. Like,
He was the
man,
best, man.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna hold. But just one thing that you can't say that I ever did. I never went to another team during that break. but after that, Marcus Peters.
I don't think your soul would have let you.
I'm not
I don't
sure.
think you could have.
So-
It's too hard.
Yeah.
Go to
Yeah,
another
that's-
team, like support another team.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not doing that,
yeah.
man.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah. That
Josh,
never
okay,
crossed my
so
mind.
Josh, Boogie is on a crusade. If they go to Kansas, he's gonna
Oh.
renounce his. He's gonna renounce his kingdomhood. Is that a
All
word?
right. I got 2 thoughts for you,
Or
Boogie.
denounce
Okay.
it.
One
Talk him through it. Pause.
One is that I don't think you need to do that, and we can break that down more.
Okay.
And the second thing is that you ought to start planning now one way or another, because I've got some bad news.
Josh, don't do that today, man. Josh.
I don't know. I don't know for sure. It seems to me, this is with no inside information. I know what is public and all of that. It makes a lot of sense for Kansas to put all their chips in the Chiefs basket, and the Royals need to end up downtown somewhere, and obviously downtown KCMO. I think it makes sense for the teams to split sides of the state line, and I think 2030 Boogie farewell tour.
I'm hurt.
I want a T-shirt with like the tour dates on the back. But it's okay. It's okay. And it's not that I'm defending this. The 49ers play like an hour and 40 minutes away from San Francisco. It's all
It's in California.
Really?
yeah, barely. But fair
That is a
enough.
fact. That is a
We're
fact.
also not called the Missouri Chiefs, so like I think there's a little bit of wiggle room here. I mean, they might play maybe they'll play in Overland Park. I don't know. I don't think they're going to play in Overland Park. I don't think that's gonna happen.
crazy.
I don't think that's going to happen. That's unnecessary. I'm sorry.
Oh
Nah.
my god.
Man, we was having a good show, Josh.
Well,
Man.
you know
Man,
what?
they have
I thought
DeAndre Hopkins
it was.
in Missouri right now.
I thought we was having a good show. Damn, man.
DeAndre
Hey,
Hopkins plays for the Missouri City Chiefs right now. Don't let me forget that.
Thank you.
The Missouri City Chiefs.
That is crazy, man.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
So yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
You said what, Bug?
No, I seen the comment said y'all breaking Boogie's heart on DeAndre Hopkins Day. I'm like,
I
damn,
didn't
come
wanna
on,
do
man.
that, man. I
No,
didn't mean
like
to do
the
that to you.
Chiefs.
Oh, hey, get
Oh,
Paul
like
out of the
that's
comments.
nasty. That's
Get
nasty
Paul
word.
out the comments, man. Get him out of here,
That's
man.
nasty word. Oh, like the
Come on,
Chiefs is
Paul.
nasty.
Okay, I do want to touch on something personal. And I remember this, Josh, when you got sick
Mm.
and you had the diabetes diagnosis, and as somebody whose family it runs through the family, and we're Black. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
diabetes is always a concern. How have you been dealing with it? You look good. You look healthy.
Yeah,
How
thank
have
you.
you been maintaining?
It's been good. And listen, if anybody doesn't know, shout out Noah Gray, number 2 tight end, but no type 1 diabetic. How about that? I didn't realize that.
True.
I know, isn't that wild? I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I had diabetes. But yeah, man, I'm good. It was I'm sure you guys have maybe some context for type 1 diabetes, type 2, whatever, but most of the time, type 1 diabetes, you get diagnosed as a kid typically. And then which is horrible in its own way because it's hard enough to manage it as an adult. Managing it as a kid, crazy. But I didn't know. My mom is type 1 and she was diagnosed pretty late. But I didn't know what was going on. So I got sick. I didn't know it was diabetes. I almost died. They figured out it was diabetes. And since then it's been better. There's a lot that goes into managing it. And I'm sure anybody either with diabetes or close to someone who does, you probably gotten used to looking at the carb count numbers on the box of snacks or whatever.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
It's a lot, but I feel very, very grateful to have been able to handle that as an adult, not as a kid, and to have, I can flash all my diabetes technology around here now too. It's never been easier to manage when insurance works, which is another conversation we can have for another day. You want to have me back? You want to do health insurance cast or whatever? I'll do that. I have some stronger opinions about that than Boogie does about the Chiefs moving to Kansas.
Man, I'm with you on that, man.
No, you definitely. I remember that day. I remember that because I was listening back in the A10 days. You used to do, and it was probably your producer, and forgive me if I forgot his name. Used to do sad fans on Reddit.
And Beards McFly original.
That was the funniest shit of all time. Where I don't know if y'all know, he would go to Reddit and find out all the opposite opposing fans' tweets and would read them off. And then, bro, it would start off good, and then the panic of the second and third and fourth quarter, and then they would be like, "Man, forget everybody, kill everybody."
Yes.
Bro, I don't know how you doing your show now, but you gotta bring sad fans from Reddit back, bro. That shit is hilarious.
I will tell Beards, who is his given name isn't Beards, but it's still his Twitter handle, everything. Beards McFly. I do remember what it was. It was like that first Chiefs Bengals game that was like 40-10 or something, Sunday Night Football, maybe. I don't know. He was always and still is a big Reddit guy, and he ended up in the game thread for the Bengals that day. And he was going through, and I don't know where it came from exactly, because in that moment of inspiration, he created what I genuinely believe to be one of the best radio bits ever created. And nothing that I have done on the radio ever comes up as often as sad fans, which I am a passenger for, and I could not be happier about that. It's the Beards, funniest thing. Shout out to Beards. I will let him know that the requests continue to pour in, because it's magical. And now Beards is a father of a 6-month-old. How about that? If you know Beards, think about that for a second. But
the best part of it is it starts off with this hope of, yeah, man, forget the Chiefs. We about to beat the Chiefs' ass. And then you can slowly just see it melt.
By the third quarter, it's like, why does Chris Collinsworth love bleeping Patrick Mahomes' bleep so much? Like, bro, what? How did you get there in 45 minutes?
We need that this week against the Raiders, man. With all the talk that's going on this week.
Oh,
we need that.
There's gonna be some puppet jokes in there. The whole thing. Yeah, I will reach out to Beards after we're done. I'll tell him that it's got a home in Kingdom Castle if he's ready to make it. We got to get it back.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah. So on to you got the 610 show. You definitely got the Only Weird Games. I thought that name, I'm like, Only Weird Games? What? And then, like, bro, if you listen, you would understand. I'm like, what? We do only play weird games.
It's true.
It's such a fitting name.
It came out of the previous era, because it was, me, Seth, and Nate, we all did Time Czars on The Athletic. And then the Athletic changed their whole like model for podcasting or whatever. And then somewhere in the branding process of trying to come up with a name for the new show, once we figured out we were going to do that, like, well, Nate used to always say the Chiefs only play weird games, and we went through it all. And so only weird games Tuesdays and Thursdays over on KC Sports Network. And then I got the Monday night show that just started, Missouri City in Texas. Wow, that is a great point that I forgot that exists, right? That's wild. You got to take the E off of Brisco, though. I mean, I'm not stubborn about a lot, but you know.
I was looking at the promo pic and I was like, damn, we spelled it wrong. But I was like, no. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, that's right.
I don't know why that happened. I don't know who in my family's fault that is. If something happened on in some immigration document, I have no idea. But it's the life I got to live with.
It reminds me of Gary Owen, because every time somebody says Gary Owens, and he's like, it's just Gary Owen. You got a whole tweet line, a whole timeline of no S. It's just Gary Owen. It's like the same. But hey man, you're doing big things, man. You're young too, and you were. I'm not gonna bash A10, but clearly you were like the youngest guy at A10. It was like a different. How did you? And shout out to you for carving a niche at A10. But you clearly were fish out of water. Is that?
Yeah, I think
not
that's
too harsh?
No, I think that's generally fair, because I've generally I've been pretty, at least at some point in life, I became pretty comfortable with that fact. That's typically true about me for some reason or another. I started at 810 as an intern in college, and I was definitely among the youngest people there. Towards the end, there were a couple of other interns that then stuck around as board ops or whatever, who were 5 years younger than me. And I was like, wait a second, hold on. What's happening here? I thought I was the young kid here. I got all the jokes. Now I'm old to you. Oh my God. You don't remember watching the Chiefs before they drafted Patrick Mahomes? What the hell is going on here? But yeah, that's something also that I'll always be very grateful for from 810 was with the night show with Almost Entirely Sports, a place where Beards could early on ESPN Kansas City, and then on nights later on, where we could do kind of the weird nonsense that didn't always appeal to everybody, but is what we wanted to do. I think back on those times very, very gratefully, and that we did get a chance to kind of mess around, make some mistakes, and figure out how to carve out that little niche.
Yeah, man, you were inspiration, Josh. I ain't gonna lie to you. I definitely was listening, and I would be like, these guys are kind of like nerds. But I'm kind of like a nerd too.
Most jocks are just sports nerds. Also, we're all a lot more similar that way than I think most of the time we give credit for. If you watch, I'll tell you what. Here's another little crossover thing. You watch how the Swifties follow Taylor Swift around and follow every move and know about every single thing. Swifties and sports fans have the same brain, just going in different directions. You know what I mean? It's oh, your whole closet's Taylor Swift shirts. That's weird. My whole closet is Chiefs shirts. That's normal. It's oh no, we're all kind of doing the same thing and figuring out how to embrace the stuff that we love and that we're passionate about, and that's always good.
There's nothing better than riding with your wife or your girl, and she's like, "What is this?"
Yep.
That's the best. What are you listening to?
The best compliments I remember getting from around then was yeah, no, my kid loves your show. Like 6-year-old is listening and oh, this is a weird, funny. This is a sports show that I listen to with my kids. I came by that honestly. I don't know what that says about my maturity level or whatever, but it is a cool thing. So I appreciate you saying that, Country. That's really nice.
Okay, and before we get out of here, let's talk about the Raider game.
Yeah.
That Kermit the Frog thing kind of heated this rivalry. It was the Christmas game.
Yep.
The Christmas game reinvigorated this rivalry because we was just beating them too much, and then they smacked the hell out of us on Christmas. It ruined Christmas. Even though I got a PlayStation 5, it ruined Christmas. It was a bad day. I was in a bad mood all day. We haven't lost since that game.
It's crazy.
I don't see us losing this game. But how do you feel? Did it light the rivalry back up for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good way of looking at it because you're right. I mean, a lot of this, and especially, man, when you are a team that definitively has not just Super Bowl aspirations, when you know your season's going to be defined in January and then maybe February, like the Niners game didn't feel like a Super Bowl rematch to me. It just felt like, game 6, right?
Yeah.
The Chiefs and Raiders consistently throughout the history of the AFL, AFC West now, that's always had some heat to it. And I've been on the wrong side of it many times. I think every Chiefs fan probably has a story about their favorite and their least favorite Chiefs Raiders game. I think I know the two of mine off the top of my head. One, I was in Arizona with my family watching Chiefs Raiders and Jamarcus Russell beat them. And another, my favorite.
Shit. I forgot about that one.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I will never forget about that because there was a table of Raiders fans over there, and I don't know how old I was, but they didn't care. We were still hearing about it. And I think my favorite all time is probably the Jamal Charles game, where it's just running the same play and just spam that over and over. But everybody has that. And so I don't want the Raiders to be good, but I want them to be good enough and interesting enough for this to feel like there's a little bit of spice to it. Max Crosby has also done his part. You woke up the wrong mother bleeper. That entire exchange and obviously Mahomes and Crosby are elite at their jobs and really respect the way that they handle business. But then on Sunday, you are that mother bleeper. So Christmas was an embarrassment for the Chiefs to the point that, again, as you said, haven't lost since. But that ruined all of our Christmases. It ruined their Christmas. And then you get the little puppet thing at training camp. And even that was a little bit overblown because it was some dumb fan who brought it, who was he was wearing a t-shirt of one of the AI images of Patrick Mahomes kissing a rap. It's congratulations.
Yeah.
Not only are you're smart, sir, you're also very funny. Thank you for being here. God's gift to football discourse. But so this fan brings a Kermit puppet and he hands it to some poor day 3 draft pick rookie. And that guy he shouldn't have touched it, but he didn't deserve what happened to him after that. He got handed to it by a fan at training camp. I don't know what to do there. But all that to say, yeah, Chris Jones seemed pissed today. He actually seems bothered by Christmas and by the puppet thing. Mahomes is going to throw a touchdown and do a little puppet hand celebration. We're already, that's going to happen.
For sure.
And that's good, man. I don't need I don't necessarily need 90s NBA, even where you think the players hate each other in real life all the time too. It doesn't bother me that Mahomes and Crosby respect each other, but I like it when the Chiefs and Raiders hate each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like even the Raiders still haven't been good in a while, but even just think when they had John Gruden, it still was a little. We always kind of had this tension with the Raiders when they did they circled the block.
Victory lap. You're right.
The victory lap. They danced on the logo.
Always been something. Yeah, it's that too. We forgot about that. So it's always been something. Besides the Bengals, I feel like the Raiders is always there. Like you said, they didn't talk this shit. We definitely want this. And don't forget the comments that the coach made. What was that in the summer?
I think so.
Yeah.
The Mahomes
we know how to beat them.
Yeah. The blueprint or whatever. Yeah, weird thing to say.
So it's it's plenty of stuff on that side bulletin board. Jack Jones said his comments today, and I think even today his comments that he made in the locker room, they even tried to overblow that. But I love it. Because like you said, Mahomes is coming in this game. What he said, we're gonna take care of this when we get to it. We know they putting extra sauce on this game. We know it. We got a new toy. We're going to do that, man. Last time we was there, we won a Super Bowl. It's so many little headlines and little tick for tat things that we can do. And we know, even with the Raiders, they could be playing horrible all year. This is their Super Bowl. Like Country always say, every team is the Chiefs Super Bowl. When they play the Chiefs, this is their Super Bowl, bro. We are getting the best Raiders game. They go get all year. So it's going to be a hell of a game. Hopefully we run it up on them, though. I want us to run it up. I want that 30, 40-point game this week, man.
Hey, Boogie, I was thinking Hard Knocks is probably damn, I wish Andy Reid would just let me get this one. Please, Andy. Andy's never going to do Hard Knocks.
Never. It's amazing that they got quarterback for Mahomes. I mean, that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
after the
maybe if we get a three-peat, we get a little documentary. We got to get something for a three-peat. Like you don't
Not in
do
Andy
that
Yeah,
Reid's
again.
office.
You got
that's a
to get a
given.
Netflix special or something, man. Come on, we got
Yeah.
to get something.
That's a given, fam. That's a given for sure. Like we 3P, there's definitely
Damn.
be a documentary about it. Like, why wouldn't it be? I mean, it's the first time that would have ever happened in NFL history.
But you're not going to
Well, they
get
gotta
any secret
document it.
footage of Andy Reid's office. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying.
no,
Andy,
no.
I mean, of
That's
course
all.
not. No.
five years after Andy retires, maybe he'll sit down and do like some interviews and stuff. But you're
I
not
would,
that secret footage is going to have to come from somebody else.
Yeah.
Hold
But I
on,
don't know
those
if y'all talked
comments.
about it.
Go
My
ahead,
fault.
Chuck. Go ahead.
I don't know if y'all talked about the Chris Jones press conference because
Little bit.
before I had
gotta-
yeah, you
Go ahead.
already touched on it.
Little bit.
no,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. All right, because he did mention the Kermit the Frog stuff, and he mentioned how, it didn't go well on Christmas Day last year, and they're aware of everything that happened last year. And, they gonna be ready for this game, man. I can just tell by the way Chris is, how he was, going about it and stuff, like kind of his demeanor, and then
Yeah.
like I saw his IG story not too long ago before he even went live. He got like an eagle or something, just staring down, just looking serious, like hawking down his prey. So yeah,
I love
can't
that,
wait.
bro.
I
I
can't
Hey,
love
wait.
that.
with Chris Jones too, I feel like he one of those players. He don't really talk a lot about stuff, but when he does, like when it was the Bengals, when he was
Yeah,
that Burrowhead comment, like when he
Yeah.
says something,
I
he's
thought
kind
about
of
it all
all the
summer.
way. Yeah, he's all the way turned up and
That's right.
invested in it. Chris Jones should have a big game this week, man. Like I'd be shocked if he did.
Yeah, this team is fully invested this week. They definitely fully invested. Like they're not letting this go. They're not letting this go. They want to embarrass the Faders. Believe
I'm
me.
gonna piss y'all off. One of my worst Raiders game was when they got like 5 end zone trips. Like it was like 5 or 6 first downs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, with Carr. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
that shit
remember
was
that.
trash,
That was a
bro.
Thursday night game. That was
Yeah.
Was
silly.
it yes.
That was
Yeah,
silly.
that was Thursday night.
They
Yeah,
beat
that
us
was
when we were
nasty.
10-0 that year too.
Was that the
Yeah,
Was
Eric
that the
Berry
same?
game?
Was that the same game?
Nah, that was a different game.
That was a
That
different
wasn't the
game.
Eric Berry. It wasn't the
Yeah.
Eric Berry game, right?
Nah, that
No,
was the game.
because
That was the
then
game with
Eric
Amari.
Berry announced he had cancer the next day.
Yeah.
It was
But that particular game, that was the game when Amari Cooper went crazy.
Yeah.
Like he had like two
Amari Cooper
long
played for the Raiders
touchdowns.
too. He did play for the Raiders. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
That was the
I
first
know.
team.
Hey, and somebody in the comments said, "Is that true? The Raiders had 7 coaches since we had Andy Reid. 7? That can't be right.
If you're counting interims, it might be.
That sounds about
7?
right.
I'm on it.
Gruden,
The special teams coach
special
they
teams
had.
guy,
Bisaccia?
Pierce?
Is that
There's
right?
Versace, McDaniels. You got Antonio Pierce now.
Dennis Allen.
Jeff Dennis
Dennis-
Allen.
That's
Who
4.
else?
Who
Hugh
else
Jackson. Was Hugh Jackson part of that, or was he before? that?
Damn.
Hugh Jackson
Hugh
was in
Jackson
2011.
was.
Good poll. Okay, so
Damn.
Dennis Allen was 2012 through 2014. So that
Yep.
would have been during when they hired Reed, right?
Right.
Yep.
Tony Sperano was an interim for a little while, for 12 games.
Damn.
Jack Del Rio,
There you go.
Wow.
There
then
you
John
go.
Gruden, then
Yep.
Bisaccia, then McDaniels,
Yep.
then Pierce.
Damn, I
Wow.
forgot about McDaniels. Fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot
Good
that.
reason. No,
What?
I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Good shit, Quinn. Damn, 7?
good
That's
stat.
crazy.
That is a
That's
bad
crazy.
organization. That's sobering. That's actually concerning. It's like 7 head coaches.
They
And-
haven't had a head coach. I'm scrolling fast here, so if you need to fact check me, you can.
No.
But they haven't had a coach get 3 full seasons
No.
since John Gruden the first time.
Damn. Whoa. The first time. In 2000?
1998, 99, 2000, 2001. Gruden was there through that. But like if you look at like the game totals here, 32, 16, 20, 44 games for Tom Cable. That's a new record.
Tom
And then
Wow.
16, 36, 12, 48 for Del Rio. Yeah, nope. I mean, they not only have they've obviously been changing a ton, but John Gruden, the first time, is their most successful head coach, maybe since Art Shell, at least.
Since I've been alive. Yeah, I was about to say it's been a while. Hey, but another thing on that, when we was talking about that rivalry stuff, something we talked about on the last couple episodes. This is how you know that the Chiefs and Raiders rivalry also is. We had John Jacobs in the offseason say, I wasn't going to the Chiefs. Money could
Yeah.
have been right. I still wasn't going there. You got Devontae Adams, who then came out and basically like, yeah, nah, Chiefs not on the list. So it's something here. It's something here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. And the Jacobs thing was funny because he was like, "I'm not a front runner." And do you guys remember where he went to college? I can't.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe it was Alabama. I believe he went to Alabama to play college football, and then he went to a good team after the Raiders. So like, I think the money wasn't there, and it was like, oh yeah, they were interested, but I did, I wanted to take the harder road that also was going to pay me more money. So that's whatever it is. But like, I forgot until I saw a picture of Crosby and Mahomes like hugging after one of the recent games. Crosby's got the Raiders logo on his arm.
Yeah.
Like there again, I think guys buying into that is always fun. Good for the content, good for the vibes of trying to get a little bit of that old AFL nastiness back.
Yeah. Crosby
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, I got to do this, Josh. Top five most hated Raiders.
Oh shit, I know who number one is for me.
Okay, hold on. We might need to go around the room so I can think about it. Number one might be John Gruden, but his TikToks have been so good.
He loved Mahomes. That's one thing about Gruden.
True.
He loved Mahomes. Remember Gruden's quarterback camp that he used to do?
No, absolutely. I'm trying to think if I've got
Tim Brown. Tim Brown has to be up there somewhere.
Yeah,
my most hated. I'm gonna throw his name out there for most hated.
Mute, Chuck. I don't know what you kind of.
Yeah, somebody's got some feedback.
Yeah.
Is that me?
No, I think you're all right. I think it's Chuck.
I'm gonna throw this name out there for most hated. I got Bill Romanowski out there. I'm gonna throw him out there, man.
Yeah, that's
He's
good.
definitely my number one. Yeah, he's definitely my number one.
I was literally about to say this.
Yeah, if you're gonna go historical, then the list is totally different. It's probably going to be mostly those guys that play with like a neck roll and a constant concussion. I was trying to figure out who like has hurt me the most, but I just told you my worst memory is based on Jamarcus Russell, and he is not my most hated Raider of all time. I don't really sweat it that often. The Raiders haven't really knocked the Chiefs off their spot that often. At least not when the Chiefs have been good.
Howie Long is up there.
How long?
I'm gonna put Max Crosby on my list.
Crosby, maybe. What about Mac?
Khalil Mack is very good. Mac maybe bothered me more. I don't know, because he was just unblockable. I kind of love Max Crosby though, and that's the thing, man. I like the elite players. That's what I'm trying to get like a nice, fun deep cut for you, because the great players are the guys that keep the rivalry moving, and then typically I will more often than not I respect the most excellent of their kind. Is it a cop out to say Derek Johnson just for 1 year?
Oh,
yo, that's crazy.
If you want to do
that counts. That counts.
Not my most hated person who played for the Raiders, the most painful Raider to me personally.
That hurts. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, definitely. That's number one.
I don't think I can top that. That's actually I'm in pain again thinking about that now.
Yeah.
I
guess Marcus painful. Peters. We had to throw Peters up there then. If you're gonna do that, no.
Nah, he felt like was he in Oakland for one season before they moved? I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean Marcus Peters like he's from Oakland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that was good.
That's not a Marcus Allen. Man, Marcus Allen was a fader before he even came
Stanford route.
Stanford route.
Okay. All right, Quinn. There we go.
Yeah.
He might have been a double agent.
He put a ski mask on for sure. He put a ski mask on for sure when he got here.
What's the kid's name? Arnett.
I was just thinking, do I want to make a Damon Arnett joke? I was just thinking about, I didn't enjoy his time with the Raiders, and I really didn't enjoy his 3 weeks with the Chiefs before he got arrested for another gun thing. God.
And then they tried to put him as Former Chief. No.
Yeah.
Former
Yeah,
Chief
like,
David
no,
Arnett.
no, no,
That was
no,
crazy.
no. What the hell y'all doing? What the hell y'all doing, man?
He was a former Chief. I believe that was his last stop.
Right. I'm
You
like,
got
Yeah.
that
he
right.
just
Yeah.
got here. Former Chief. He ain't even playing
I
games.
never hated Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
I hated that he had to leave.
Yeah, no. I can never hate Rich Gannon because the Chiefs let him go. The Chiefs the one that let him walk.
Yeah, that was our.
We knew it was our fault.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the funniest thing about the Raiders. They finally make it back to the Super Bowl, and they end up playing their old coach who knows all that.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
That Super Bowl was so. That Super Bowl.
That was
That's
the
one of the
worst
most-
Super Bowl of all time.
That's one of the most suspicious Super Bowls of all time because
It wasn't nothing suspicious about it. Tampa Bay knew exactly what they were going to do the entire game.
bruh,
Man.
but no, not just that. Leading up to that Super Bowl, now Barrett Robbins just all of a sudden disappears in Mexico. He doesn't return to the team. Like the dude was an All-Pro center, was a Pro Bowler that year.
did happen.
It was a lot
Yeah.
of crazy shit going on with that Chuck. A lot of
That was nutty.
I have one more Raider name I want to give you guys that I have not heard from you and I have not seen from the chat, who I think actually may have been my personal least favorite Raider. He's also their
shit.
all-time scoring leader.
Janikowski.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Yeah,
That guy.
Yeah, he
That
was-
guy. God,
Fuck.
I generally
Yeah.
speaking am not a huge kicker fan, but if you're the pudgy kicker, and listen, hey, respect to all the pudgy. Listen, I would be a pudgy kicker, but if you're a pudgy kicker who's hitting 60-yarders before everybody was hitting 60-yarders and winning games and hitting points against the Chiefs, Sebastian Janikowski, I respect the hustle or lack thereof, but I hated that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold you, Josh. I'm not gonna hold you, man. I just got this is just another red flag on the Raiders franchise now. If your kicker is the all-time leading scorer in franchise season,
That is crazy.
your kicker.
I think it's
not bad.
Lowry.
Points
I
at
think
a
it's
time,
I think it's Nick Lowry for the Chiefs. I don't want you to get in trouble before you say something you
Really?
can't take back. I think Nick Lowry is for the Chiefs.
For real.
Boom.
Yeah, nice seeing you, Josh. It was good having you.
Hey, listen,
That's
hey,
crazy.
Hold on.
Hey,
listen,
no.
man.
Okay,
No.
who's number
No,
two?
time out.
Who's number
No,
two?
wait.
Who's number
Good
two?
question. I'm on it.
No,
I don't
wait,
know.
Jan Stunner.
Probably it might be Cinderud and then it might be Butker. I don't know. They account for so many points.
Yeah, they
that
get a lot
I
of
don't know
points.
how prevalent.
Because I was just about to say that maybe all the kickers they do count for a lot of points. We're adding extra points and field goals, but
Yeah.
Holy
just goes to
shit,
show-
guys! Nick Lowry, Jan Cinderud, Harrison Butker, Ryan Suckup, Priest Holmes, Travis Kelce,
yeah,
What?
Wow.
yes, special teams is important.
Wow.
and then
Wow.
Tony
Number
Gonzalez,
17,
Pete
these are important.
Stoyanovich, Tyreek Hill, Cairo Santos, Jamal Charles.
And
Cairo
where's
Santos
Justin-
scored more points than Jamal Charles did. That's crazy.
Okay, well, yeah, that tell you right there. That's crazy.
Hey, Josh, where's Justin Medlock on that list?
Hold on, I got to scroll a little bit. There's Lynn Elliott, and there's Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's page here now says 2017 through 18, 24.
No, wait, you said the magic words. You're not supposed to say them two names.
I'm not afraid of those names. Those names can't hurt me.
Yeah,
No, not Kareem Hunt. I'm
killed
talking
that.
about the name before that.
No, Lynn Elliott. I'm not afraid of him.
we exercised that demon a long time ago.
That was
But
I
that
just
is- but it
I
does
just
show
hated
that-
Janikowski was like 260, and he literally was smoking a cigarette before he walked up.
and if he was my kicker, I'm sure I would have had a jersey. I don't know, but he
Yeah.
was
Definitely would
he's a
have.
perfect Raiders kicker too.
Yeah, it looked like he would have bought his jersey too if he was our kicker. But yeah,
He
it
was
just
like-
goes to show how important special teams is in football now. You know, since we pulled up
But
those
Ro-
numbers.
And
I
remember,
can't
Raiders
believe
had
Butker's
Leckler
up there
too.
already.
They had the good special teams for a minute. They had the punter and the kicker. The Raiders. Leckler was cold.
Yeah,
He was like the best punter for the
Leckler
longest.
was cold. Leckler was
Leckler,
cold
yeah.
in that ball.
Hey,
Oh,
just
they
win,
did.
baby.
They did have Namdi Asamoah too. I guess he or
Oh,
Charles
man,
Woodson. We didn't say them either. Woodson. He probably be
Woodson?
up there. I loved him as a player, but not with the Raiders.
Sam.
when they gave Joe Marcus Russell the playbook and had $100 at the end. That was
That's
draft day,
crazy.
but it's
That
same
was
Come
crazy.
story.
on, dog. Come on, Paul.
Same story.
Hey, you want to know which player I didn't? You want to know which player that I hated going to the Raiders, dog? I did not like Randy Moss going to the Raiders, man.
He didn't
I
either.
was not a fan of that.
Him and Warren Sapp didn't like it neither.
Man,
Warren
forget
Sapp was my
Sapp,
dog
man.
too.
Ooh,
Man.
Warren Sapp's
Yeah.
good too. Yeah.
That was man. He was the
Ooh,
perfect Raider though.
I
He fit
forgot
He
them
about
really
shoes.
was.
I forgot about Lane Kiffin.
Lane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Lane Kiffin.
that was nasty. That
They
was nasty work right there.
they still overrate the heck out of this dude in college football. Like, what is the appeal about Lane Kiffin? Just because he talk trash?
His
On press conference all the time? That's the
name was
appeal?
Mel Kiffin.
You know what's
That dude's so
crazy? Lane
overrated.
Kiffin is 49 years old.
What?
Damn.
Still?
Oh yeah,
I
he a
know.
young cat.
I know, man. He's been
When did he
coaching for
start? When he was
so
20?
long. He was the Raiders
Yeah.
head coach in 07, and now he's
Yeah.
still only 49.
That's
Damn, yeah,
crazy.
he was a young ass coach. What was he?
Really
he was in
was.
his 30s when he was coaching.
I think he was the youngest, 31 years old. Holy shit, I'm almost as old as Lane Kiffin was when he got hired in the NFL to be a head coach of the Raiders. I gotta go.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he definitely was the youngest coach in the NFL at the time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm trying to think of that one track star that nobody wanted to draft, and Al Davis drafted him in the
Darius
first
Hayward
round.
Bay.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my guy.
Darius
I was
Hayward.
collecting a lot of football cards during that draft, and so I had a lot of Darius Hayward base stock that, I'll tell you this, did not pay for my college tuition or anything. I did not. It was not a good investment.
Hayward, that's back when they was just drafting speed still.
Yep.
As long as you
That's
had
right.
that 40
Jesus
time,
Christ.
The Raider way.
They
Exactly.
definitely would have drafted Xavier Worthy in the first round.
man,
Definitely.
for sure.
With no hesitation.
Yeah. Shout out to Desmond
Hey,
Howard, man.
hey, Josh, man, on behalf of Kingdom Cast, man, we certainly appreciate you stopping through. This is like I said, you are our Moby Dick. You are our DeAndre Hopkins. And we finally landed you. And we're going to embrace you. And hopefully you come back more than once and we kick it like this, man. It was a great – I personally am inspired by what you did and what you brought to the game, and a young dude coming in and kicking doors down for guys like us. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely appreciate what you're doing and the path that you blazing. Only weird games, right?
That's right, man. Only weird games. I appreciate that. That really does mean a lot, because it has been a wild ride, and some of the best stuff is finding out that some of the weird nonsense that maybe we got to help grow a little bit throughout the space has reached out to make room for more weirdness all the way around. So I will absolutely be back, and I'm happy to continue to be your Moby Dick. There's a pause for me.
For sure, Josh.
Okay. Scores. Do you have a score prediction for the game? I usually don't do scores, so I forget. But
I said 30-10 earlier just to get it up and down. I think that suffocating the Raiders offense. I'll take a 30 burger. I'm hoping for, as Nate says, some shits and giggles plays down in the red zone. Let's see Leo Chanel carry one this time. That's where I'm at.
All right.
God.
Okay.
If they pull out Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes, if they pull that out again, you know they got 5 plays to go off of that play.
Yes, 100%.
It's
gonna happen.
Wait. I can't wait to see that one again.
We may get a Mahomes receiving touchdown before we get a passing touchdown on Sunday.
Oh man. Oh. Please.
Good Lord.
I would
That
say the
sound
most
like Nagy.
disrespectful thing would be a Sky Moore touchdown, but that's
Yeah, that's out the window now.
We can't get that creative now. Hold on.
That's
man.
out the window now.
That's a violation now. It's a CBA violation.
shout out to Sky, man. We love you, man.
Shout
Get
out,
well
Shy.
soon, man.
Get healthy, Sky. I got 27-13 Chiefs. D-Hop touchdown. Let's get it.
I'm
right,
not mad
man.
at that at all.
Here's what I'm gonna do, bro. Like, yeah, DJ Scratch already said it. Look, if they don't get 40 this week, I'm done calling 40 burgers for the rest of the season.
You calling another 40 burger?
If they don't have
He
them this
calling
week,
40
I'm done
again?
calling 40 burgers. Because it should have been 40 last week. But, you know,
It should
Xavier
have.
Worthy, that first play after half, I was disappointed about that one not coming through. But at the end of the day, man, this is the week I'm calling the 40 burger again, bro. Like, just by the press conferences and all that, how this team is locked in, you know, they remember all the stuff the Faders did, man. Like not Josh Jones, but Jack Jack
Jack
Jones,
Jones.
man. He talking like he on top of the world because he got a pick six in that game. You know, I mean, I get it. You got a pick six off Mahomes. You contribute to the victory and all that. But bro, you a good player, but you ain't like that, bro. It's like you ain't cracked the code on us, man. And we're gonna show that on Sunday that y'all ain't quite cracked the code. Y'all just lucked out. We let you off the hook. So
All right, in honor of Josh being here, I'm gonna get weird too. Shutout. Raiders will not score in this game.
Damn.
I like
Okay,
it.
Spags. All right,
I like it.
Spags.
I don't know how much we gonna score, but it's gonna be enough to win because they're not scoring. It's just
I'll
personal.
take it.
Look,
I'll
last
take it.
time it was action.
Yeah.
This time it's personal.
Yes.
Hey, Melanie, where you been at, girl? You late. So Kingdom Cast, man. You can check Josh out Mondays. The Josh Brisco show.
That's Monday night, 7 to 9 on 96.5. I also hop around during the day on the three big shows there. Monday morning, Wednesday afternoon, Friday midday, Only Weird Games, Tuesday, Thursday. I'm at JB Brisco on all the socials. You'll figure it out. Follow me around. Eventually, I'll talk about the Chiefs in a way that you can consume, hopefully.
Hey, man, thank you, man. I
Shout
definitely
out Josh,
appreciate
man.
that.
yeah, shout out to
Dude,
Josh.
thank you guys for
Appreciate you,
having
man.
me.
Appreciate
Sorry it took so long.
I actually think we got your co-host coming in next week. So
Oh,
Nate,
okay.
y'all
Big
know when
move.
Nate Taylor come in here.
Oh, man, that's going to be a better show than this. I'm glad I got to go
No,
first.
Nate gonna get one of them 3-hour marathons off.
100%. You're going to get something out
I'm
of
with
Nate
it.
for sure.
I'm with it.
So thank you, man. Kingdom Cast, like, share, subscribe, follow us on socials, all that good stuff. We appreciate you. Chuck, take us out.
Yeah, before I take everyone out here, man, I just want to address the rest of the fans of the National Football League because I've been seeing all this stuff, hearing all this stuff from spaces about Patrick Mahomes' TD to interception ratio. Y'all act like that's gonna last throughout the course of the season. This was y'all week to get that out the way because after this week, it's done. It's over with. So enjoy it while you can. Mahomes about to get on this tear, and it's back to business. So with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, share your social media platforms. Till the next episode, we out, Chiefs Kingdom.
Kyle, you petty as hell.
We out.